What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a mid-skin fade comb over. Just like we begin every skin fade, we are going to start with the lever all the way closed. We are going to be putting in our first guideline with the 0 all the way around the ear, and we're going to drop it a little bit in the back. Just make sure this is perfect because this is the basis for the entire haircut. So for step 2, once you have that skin line in, we're gonna bring the half guard out. We're gonna put it all the way closed, and we're gonna do our first guideline about the width of a finger and just follow along that 0 where we put it in the beginning. Once we have that half guard guide all the way put in, we have underneath that our 0 that we put in. We're gonna blend them both together by taking the half guard off, and then we're just gonna use our lever, start all the way open and slowly close it down until it's all faded. Our next guide, once we have all of that underneath faded down, is going to be the 1 all the way open, and we're going to make a section just like we did with the half guard, about a finger width. To fade that in, we're going to use the guard underneath the 1, which is the half guard. Keep in mind that line at the bottom there is the half guard closed, so I always use the half guard closed anyway, just to make sure that it's a true half guard closed, and then you can slowly open it up and fade it out. And just a quick heads up, I am using the Stylecraft Rebel in this haircut. And in my last video, I did a review on the Stylecraft Rebel, so if you are interested in that, just go check that out. After we have the 1 open and everything faded underneath that, we're gonna do the 2 open. And this is all pretty much flicking out or going straight up. You definitely don't want to go with the shape of the head because we don't want to cut into the top. Between that 1 open and that 2 open, I'm going to use the 1.5 guard. And whatever this doesn't take out, we're going to use the 1 open because that's what put in that bottom guideline anyway. Like I said before, there's a bit of darkness here that the 1.5 guard didn't take out, so we're gonna need to use the 1 open, and if we need to, we can even start to close it a little bit just to make sure we get everything perfectly blended. Finish up the fading section of the haircut, we're going to use our 3 open, and this is pretty much just blending everything into the top length that we leave here, and then we're going to cut the top after. before we cut the top, we need to use the trimmer. I mean, when we have a skin fade, it's not true skin unless you use your trimmer and your shaver, and I saved it for the end of the haircut. More likely than not, I do it in the beginning, and I always recommend doing it in the beginning because it's a little easier, just in case you push it up a little bit. In this case, if you push that line up, we're gonna have to refade everything all over again. But if we're careful enough, everything will be fine. We just have to flick out and use our corners, and then underneath this, we're going to use our foil shaver. While we have the trimmer out, just make sure to hit the back of the beard for your clients. Even if you're not doing their beard for them in this service, they're gonna really appreciate it. It's a big difference maker because not everybody can reach that at home. Back to what I mentioned before, now we're going to use the foil shaver. Here I'm using the Stylecraft Uno, which is a new tool that I added to my arsenal lately because I've always used the big foil shavers from Babyliss and Andis, and just this tiny little single foil just happens to be perfect for skin fades, getting around the ear and everything, and I'll probably end up doing a little review on it later in the future. Just like I've always said, the secret to a perfect fade at the end of the haircut is to do the thinning shears and make sure any little dark spots get knocked out. So to cut the top, we're going to pull the front length, and this is just to show our client how much they want to take off. And he told us about a 1/2 inch, so that's what we're going to take off on this front panel. And I'm also going down the line on the part here, but you don't have to do this yet because you can actually go take that whole section once we do this next step here. And that next step is the mohawk part. We see in the front we have our short length, so we'll follow that as a guide all the way straight back in a bit of a mohawk, and then this is going to give us our guide length down the middle of the haircut that we can then blend to on the left and the right. Once we finish the top here, that is pretty much the entire haircut. So if you did enjoy this video, really appreciate it if you left a like, subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.